61 from the Britons in the southern part of Cameroon. But let's go to the proverb. The river that forgets its source will dry up. The river that forgets its source will dry up. How would you interpret it?
Never stop doing that thing that made you who you are. Like, let's say you start a business and then you start another. No matter how successful the subsequent ones will be, never abandon the original.
The OG.
Yeah, the OG. Yeah, so that's it.
Yeah. Well said.
Yeah, never lose your way.
Yeah. Okay. It's interesting that we have this conversation today because the CS Interior was in Senate yesterday and speaking to the issue of goonism as well as abductions and fatalities that come as a result of, in some part, that come as a result of rallies and protests and things like this, and whereby the singular role of government is to secure its people, whether that's secure in terms of safety, food, health, education, but to secure its people. Now, just an overview from where you are, because you are heavy on constitutionalism, whereby we say do the right thing. If you do the right thing, all of these other things will fall in place according to the law. Live according to the law. But now let's look at some of the things that come as a result of that law. It's like now this one where we talk about people have a right to not be kidnapped. People have a right to not be disappeared or shot dead. Where do you think the country has, since the last time we spoke, how has it progressed?
Everything is a creation of someone. So I don't believe I don't believe the people are violent. Kenyans are not violent in nature. Violence is well orchestrated, and what people need to know right now is there are three factions fighting. The last time I was here, it was only two factions fighting, but right now there are three factions fighting. And remember, all of them are classic politicians. So classic politicians, classic politics, sell hope and also fund violence. You know, so it is just a game. You know, and the people are the what do we call them? Those pieces on a chessboard.
Pawns.
Pawns, right? Like we have pawns for policy and strategy. We also have pawns for resources, and we have pawns for violence. You know, so the ultimate question should be who's the loser and who's the winner.
Who's the loser and who's the winner?
Yeah, who's the loser and who's the winner?
Yeah.
Because in this whole situation, the common man is the loser. Because you are a goon going to attack who?
A Kenyan.
Kenyan.
Yes. I'd be happy if a goon attacks a bad politician. I'd be happy. Yeah, but why would a goon attack a fellow Kenyan? You know, after all, you're all going back to the same poverty, the same struggle, you know, just for a few coins, you know. Yeah.
I mean, you see, Muigai, I still go back to the security apparatus that we have in the country, right? I look at a situation. I'll give an example. When Member of Parliament Ongondo Were was killed, how long did it take officers to arrest individuals, do investigation and arrest individuals? It took a very short period of time. Today we speak about the deaths that occurred in the country during the 2024 Gen Z protests in the country, not 2025. And up to date, investigations are still ongoing. We are looking for people who, yet those who have guns in the country, we know them. The processes of getting guns and armory, we know it, right? These guns are taken back to the police stations. An account for all the bullets are done at the police stations. Yet today, we are being told here that the cabinet secretary cannot tell us who killed Kenyans. Here we have been told that security of Kenyans cannot be guaranteed, that the government does not know who is doing the abductions. Is there any realness, or rather, is there any intention in handling these problems from a government perspective, given the fact that this was a 10-point agenda that Raila Odinga and William Ruto signed to see that end?
First of all, I never like talking about those things like the NADCO report, the 10-point agenda, because they were all unconstitutional. They were all aimed at expanding the executive. They were all aimed at controlling the masses through an illusion that, we sat down and we agreed. So you agreed for who? We just concluded an election. There are winners and losers. If you lost, those are the dictates of democracy. That once you've lost, you've lost. Let the man who won the elections now be in charge of everything, right? So that when it comes to calling for accountability, we know who to ask. You see, because and you should also look at the signatories, because remember, after the 2022 elections, what they went for that pacifying thing called the NADGO report, right?
Yes.
The National Dialogue.
Whatever
Committee.
that was, yes.
Dialogue between who and who. Who had a problem with the other? I was part of the people who voted in 2022, and I was okay with losing with Raila Odinga, right? I never had a problem with anyone in Kenya Kwanza, because it was just a means. Like, an election is just a means to get a leader. So if the majority have picked this leader, I don't have a problem with you. So it was a national dialogue for who? It wasn't a national dialogue. It was a political dialogue to settle scores between themselves. I know I lost money in my campaign. I need a way to be compensated. It's high time we talk about things that matter, that rather than the people, because for so long it's been for a very long time we've been discussing individuals at the expense of our welfare as a nation, right? So you have to remember, where was Kenya before? You have to remember that Kenya did not get independence in 1964. We only got self-rule. And the self-rule we got only enabled our African leaders or our Kenyan leaders to lead us the British way. We never had presidents. We had rulers. Those were kings. They were the law. They would. You hear of times when in State House people were speaking Kikuyu, because most of the kitchen cabinet of Kenyatta didn't know that there is a Kenya beyond Nakuru. So you have to know that when Moi takes over, he's also a king. He rules. He doesn't lead. He doesn't serve. Moi wasn't a servant. He was a ruler. Kenyatta was a ruler, right? The first servant president we have is now Kibaki. And it was also a gamble, because remember, the same Kibaki was in all those governments that were killing, abducting, and pushing for self-censorship. So the people had to fight internally for so long. And remember, look, J.M. Kariuki dies, Pio Gama Pinto dies, Agwin Skodek dies. So many people die, right? In search for independence now.
Right.
So we fight for 47 years. And in that period, why I keep telling people, you shouldn't be surprised when these people are not moved by people dying, because remember, all these people that you see were there when the government was plotting and executing the elimination of people and leaders who were deemed as a threat to the state, right? Now, there's something special that happens in 1992, right? So they say we are going to fight for we are now having multi-party democracy, right? Section 2A is repealed. We only talk about that, but we never talk about what happens during those elections. 5,000 people were killed and 75,000 people were displaced because of politics. That's what we never talk about. That's the history we are never taught, right? That 5,000 people died. Do you know what it means for 5 people to die? And remember, government only reports a quarter of what happened, So it means more than 20,000 people died. And just so that they could moderate the numbers, no, it's just say it's 5,000, right? Still, 100 people die in 1997, and more than 6,000 are displaced in 1997 again because of elections, right? So remember, these are people and also remember, the Wagala massacre had already happened back in the day. 5,000 men died in a single day. We never talk about those things. Do you know what it means for 5,000 people to die in a single day? Yeah. Why? Because of political reasons, right? So we fight internally as a country, and we still put back leaders who were there when those murders were happening, right? I always say Kibaki was the biggest gamble we ever had, because he was already in those governments. He only chose to maybe to do a few good things, right? Because remember, also during his time, the biggest scandals happened. So these are people to whom killing and corruption is the order of the day. In fact, they are shocked when you don't agree with it, right? But now in 2010, we come and get our independence, right? Now we say we are going to have a new constitution, right? So we got Kenya is 16 years independent right now. And
based on the numbers that you've given in terms of when this self-rule, beyond the self-rule and now independence.
Yes, and what was the cost of this independence? The cost of this independence was 1,600 lives and 606,000 displacements. We had IDPs, the highest record ever, right? We fought amongst ourselves for leaders who were supposed to serve us. You see, so up until now, I never want necessarily to talk about what's going on, because there is no day, people who have murdered will come and say that we actually did it. They'll always try to downplay it. They always try to say, we are following the due process. We are doing what? So it's time for a new Kenya. And that's why I keep saying we should be so happy, because right now we are just in the process I call the fall and rise of Kenya. Kenya has fallen. But the good thing is it's rising. It started in 2024 and it's slowly picking momentum.
What are the indicators of this rise from what you've seen? Because we're talking about a time where an activity that will essentially activate those indicators is coming up in 2027, which is the general election. But what can you see that would say, actually, you know what? Because of 1, 2, 3, you can actually have some hope to say, yes, Kenya might make a correct decision now, moving to the future.
The fact that you see, partylessness is a thing now. It is expected that someone like Sifuna would be supported best on a party. You see, before this Linda Mwananchi thing started, it was all about parties, right? All these reports that they have been making, the NADCO report, the 10-point agenda, have been about parties, right?
Yes.
And you can see we still had the united opposition, right? The united opposition was there, but the people have responded very positively to this Linda Mwananchi thing, right? So that shows you people are not foolish anymore. They can see hope somewhere, right? And you can see that, and I don't even think someone like Sifuna knew it, right? He's yet to know the hope that he carries. I hope he knows he's not a loyal leader, right? The way people see him, he's a representation of the change you've been looking for, right? So whatever he does with it in this new dispensation or in the dispensation of the new Kenya, it's up to him, right? He can either fumble it or
score a try.
You see, so I'm more focused on that new Kenya because I watched a clip of His Excellency Kalonzo Musyoka in 1996. He was saying that the government is more concerned about vijana na nini, and 30 years later, that is still the conversation, right? So the youth that were being addressed that time were our parents, right? I didn't see anything that they really did for them. So I don't buy that narrative of vijana. I'm just like, if you want to do good for all Kenyans, as the Constitution says, because when we say we the people means we women, men, children, the youth, people living with disability. You cannot identify a sector or a section of these people and say that you are more concerned about them. What about the elderly?
That means, Muigai, where we find ourselves today, everything else that is bedeviling the country, you talk about insecurity, you talk about constitutionalism, it is Kenyans, the new Kenya, the new rise of Kenyans that is coming up that will change this.
Yes.
That we must take it upon ourselves that we are 16 years old in terms of independence. This is the country we want. And we will determine the kind of leaders that we want. That we should not expect for manna to come from heaven for us to be fed. That we will feed ourselves, we will sort out our problems.
Yes, and the indicators are everywhere. You can see where we used to have a problem. This is how it started, right? It started in different sectors. It started with music. We used to have a problem with our radio stations and our promoters promoting Nigerian music, South African music, and bongo music in Kenya. And the people, we ourselves decided we shall attend events organized by Kenyan artists. That's when we discovered artists like Kinoti, Ethan. We discovered artists like Mutoria. They weren't given those big deals. They started organizing their own events.
Yeah.
And we started flooding those events. Until now, the radio and TV and concert organizers decided
To go that way.
Right? It came to sports. You have seen that there is a certain rise of Kenyan footballers taking over Europe. You know, not the classic ones like we used to have someone just like Mariga, Wanyama, but right now we have so many. You know, they are doing so well, right? When it comes to film production, even the way the film was being written or scripted and directed, it used to be so foreign. And then we started going to watch Kenyan films. So the same thing is now happening to leadership. That you can propose a party, you can fund it as much as you want, but we shall go with whichever the person we believe carries our dreams. So the change is now hitting the political space or the leadership space. So what I'm trying to say is, I'll refer to a principle in Islam. The Quran says that we are an exemplary generation, like you. Allah tells the people that, you are an exemplary generation because you are able to, in Swahili they say you have the power to amrisha mazuri and to kemea mabaya, or kukataza mabaya. So the reason why we are a special generation right now, and when I say generation, it doesn't mean Gen Zs. All generations that are alive right now
in this time,
are so special because their constitution has given them power individually. Because remember, in the Quran, they were being the Prophet was referring to that in the olden times, people like the people who used to do these things were just like Moses alone. He's the only one who could go and talk on your behalf, right? Even Jesus, when he came, he's the only one who could do it. But right now, after they left, the power was left with the individuals. Right? You can do it at an individual level. And this is what this constitution is about. That's why I keep telling people Article 1.1, Article 1.2, Article 2.4, Article 3.1, Article 10, Article 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, Article 43, 53, 58, 57, 58, Article 125, Article 255. These are things that empower. Article 119, these are things that have given you power. Because before 2010, you wouldn't even represent people in court. They would ask you, where is your locus standi? But this one allows you to even represent people, even if that thing does not concern you, right? So that is the power that we have right now. We have the power to say no to bad things and to promote good things. And that is why Maandamano, really, the 2024 Maandamano shocked everyone, right? Because nobody ordered anyone. People ordered themselves. When Albert Ojwang was going to be buried, right, the people went and grabbed his body, ransacked the whole police station, and walked with him home, right? The only disappointment came when the father said he's spoken with the president and they are good. That's when Kenyans were like, oh, we thought you wanted justice, right? So we leave you. And that's where the country is. If you seem to be working with people or with outfits that are against the people disown you. That is how you know we are now in the era of change, right? You can be as eloquent as you want, you can be as great as you are, but the moment you align with the wrong establishment, the people disown you. So we should be happy because it's a moment that no one can own. You see, everyone owns this moment. So that's basically what I can say.
Do you think this owning and this identity then is grabbed by everybody? Because one of the ways that it translates, and we've been starting to have this conversation, one of the ways it translates, Nganga, is that people actually go and register to vote. That it doesn't matter. Look, we know that there's voter suppression. We've had that conversation. We know. And some of the violence that we speak about, the goonism that we started this conversation with, the goonism that's being discussed in Senate, where people are now blaming themselves between the ODPP and the leadership of the police, where they're talking about, okay, well, it's your goose, it's not mine, kind of thing. All of that can be happening in the same space where people are saying, you know what, that's great, but we are going to register to vote. Do you think that this is happening even in light of these things that we see? Whether there are groups of people that are coming together and they're saying, no, we are protesting, we are creating our own narrative. Are people registering to vote? Because it is a fundamental...
I'll tell you this, People always need a reason to act, right? And when you look at our politics before 2020, the 2022 general elections, it was repetition. The same people changing outfits, right?
Yeah.
So the reason why those 8 million people never went to vote is because they were like, these are the only options we have. I mean, I'm more advanced than this.
Yeah.
You see? And even after that, people had, the reason why people had lost hope with even voting is this man would campaign so hard, right? We would support him so much. Then he takes us to a point where we believe he's going to win. Then something happens, he loses. Then he tells us, you know, these people are bad, the economy is mbaya, A, B, C, D is happening. Then we see a handshake. So that is what was demoralizing people. People were like, whether I vote or not, these people are going, this is just a bridge they'll cross and they'll make deals. But right now, there is a reason. That's why I was telling you, these new people that have come up right now do not know the kind of support they have.
Okay.
These are the only people who can tell people right now to register to vote, and they will, because there is hope. Human beings respond to hope. They say hope is not a strategy, but it's an ingredient in strategy, right? So it depends on who is telling you to register and who wants you to vote.
Okay.
You see? So when there is no hope, like us, we decided we will not vote for the lesser evil. Our parents have been doing that.
Yeah.
There is no such thing as lesser evil. Evil is evil. But these guys come with some, at least it comes with some purity. So that's why I'm still insisting. Take your time to reflect and understand this moment and the kind of power and trust that people are bestowing upon you, right? So there was no reason, but right now there is.
Okay. Yeah. Constitutionalist Muigai is here with us this morning, Muigai, and of course we're looking into constitutionalism and also asking ourselves certain questions about then what happens when people are coming together to listen, to then make decisions about going into the future. We'll take a break at this point. We'll come back and continue with this. It's 26 minutes to 9.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
If you can M-Pesa, now you can invest in shares ndani ya M-Pesa app. No forms, no waiting. Anza hata na share moja. Invest in shares on the Nairobi Securities Exchange with ZD Trader. Anza leo. ZD Trader, powered by M-Pesa.
Masikini mapenzi, 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 masikini mapenzi.
Dial star 811 star 914 hash to get this as your skiza tune. KTN ndio home.
Tunasema hakuna kungoja tena watu wangu, tutazungumzia ligi inayopendwa kote duniani, the best of the best, ligi ya EPL. Simu mwaka 2025-26 ndani ya Radio Maisha kama kawaida.
Wajua tumesubiria sana. Mambo yamebadilika. Kuna Sesko, kuna mchezaji kwenda kujina Gyökeres. Ekitike anawaka moto jamani. Taswira yote tunachora ndani ya Radio Maisha, maana tunasema kwamba ndo nyumbani kwa ligi kuu ya Uingereza.
Tuko mbele pamoja. Yaani ligi msimu huu atakayeshinda simjui, lakini mwenye hata shinda namjua.
Hey, Radio Maisha, home of EPL.
Christina Labelle,
Ambassador de la Rumba,
and of course ndani ya rasharasha mwaka huu
wasanii kibao, bands hapa na pale, gossips za muziki kutoka Kenya mpaka Afrika kwa ujumla.
So you don't want to miss this kwa sababu kila siku ya Jumamosi tutakuwa live
9 kamili mpaka 11 siku ni ya Saturday.
Tuma shout out ya kwako, tuma request ya kwako. Sisi tuko hapa kucheza kama sisi.
This week, the Nairobian exposes the Russian seduction trap. Spy glasses, secret recordings, love turned into a dangerous live stream. What started as romance became a web of deception you won't believe. Inside, Corazon Komboka speaks out on her bold bid for Nairobi woman rep. Scandals, politics, street drama, untold truths. Don't just hear the rumors, read the real story. Visit epaper.standardmedia.co.ke or grab your copy of The Nairobian from your nearest vendor now. The Nairobian, nothing stays hidden.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
Average of the people in a ward. Okay? A member of parliament is an average of the people in a constituency. The governor is and the senator are an average of the people in that county. And the president of a republic is a reflection of the people in that country. So it's a game of averages, right? The thing is, these averages are changing. The more literacy and numeracy levels improve, the less tolerant people become to bullcrap, right? And that is the conflict we are having, because we have people who've been rising to power through a mediocre system or a mediocre citizenry, you know. And they have woken up to a shock that people don't want nonsense. They just can't believe that we don't want that nonsense again.
Because you've taken it for so long.
Yes, like they just can't believe that you actually know what is going on. You actually know the figures. You actually know what is supposed to be done. You know. So just one thing is remaining. What are the people saying? We have heard what everyone is saying. We have heard what the united opposition is saying. We want to get to power. We have heard what the government is saying. We want another term. We have heard what other people are saying. You know, the question is, and what are we saying? This is the thing we never ask ourselves. What are we saying in all this conversation? Are we fans? Because what does it benefit me if I see two of my two enemies fighting, right? And none of them is addressing or is asking me, And what are you saying, right?
Yeah.
So this one says this weekend, this one says this the other weekend. And I'm there cheering, eh?
For both.
Yes. Right now they have to pay people to attend and cheer because people are smart. Nobody's showing up again organically to go and listen to you guys answering each other. You know. Now people are asking, do you know what we want? Like, so we should ask that question now. What do we want as the people, right? So there are only 5 things we can want. And that should form the basis of the campaigns in any nation in the world, right? We must know what we want as a people when it comes to the rule of law or the constitution, right? We must know exactly what we want, right? Because what is the role of the president? When he's being sworn in, there is one, or when a president is being, a Kenyan president is being sworn in, they just say they'll do 2 things.
Defend the constitution.
I'll protect lives and property, and I'll uphold the constitution.
Yes.
So anything that violated that constitution, if there was any life lost, that is what
Leaving office.
yes, leaving office, you know. But if the people don't know that what that means, you know, people know. I think mostly we know things, but we don't know how to interpret them.
Right.
The reason why that oath is taken is so that you will honorably leave office if this and that has happened. And the reason why in mature democracies people resign or step down is simply because the people know the constitution. So you don't need to be told.
Exactly. And the person who is in a position of leadership, who may have made a mistake, is also aware that the people are aware.
Yes. So exactly what do we want when it comes to the constitution, Katiba, right? The second thing, we must know exactly what we want done about it. It's education, because remember, a citizen is a product of the curriculum they are taken through.
True.
So these people who went through that free education system are of so good quality that bad quality leadership cannot survive. You know, we have people working so hard in the private sector that when you become a public officer or a state officer and you're trying to sell nonsense to them, they're just like, man, stop with the bull crap, right? So what exactly as a people do we want about education? We need to be clear about that. So when it comes to education, we have to ask ourselves, where did we agree as a republic that other schools will be built with very nice brick and mortar, and others will be built with mud, mabati, and wood? And you might even think others are studying tourism or the environment because they study under trees, right? So where exactly where and when did we agree and anchored it in law that such a disparity will exist and we'll be fine with it, right? You are a teacher. You have worked hard. You have gone to the best universities. Then TSC posts you in a school where there's nothing. There are no laboratories. There are no teachers' quarters. The classes are not in good condition. But the only time we see people, teachers showing up for mandamano is when they want a salary increment. No, you should also fight for dignity, because Article 10 guarantees you dignity. That we as teachers, we shall not teach, we shall not offer our services until and unless
certain standard.
We need some certain standard. You know, we need to know how much it takes to construct a classroom in Kenya. What is the basic student-teacher ratio? We have to agree on those things. When we go to the marginalized areas, what are these things that are guaranteed so that I can execute my duties well as a teacher, right? So we need to see parents and teachers flooding the streets and flooding the ministry, flooding everywhere, demanding that our children and we as teachers want better infrastructure, right? What are we saying about health? You know, when you go to register for SHA right now, do you know what is the condition? You have to pay for the last...
You have to have paid up for 6 months.
6 months, right? But what happens if you have hustler fund arrears?
Don't get.
It's a precondition. You have to clear your hustler fund
in order for you to.
So when did we agree that my health
is tied
to this thing, right? But people don't know. So what exactly do we want about our health? Are we sure that it is accessible and affordable, or someone is doing business with our health? What exactly are we saying about elections? You cannot recall an MP right now, right?
No, there's not.
You can't. And even if you want, the process is too long, because even after the High Court finds them guilty or having violated Chapter 6 on leadership and integrity, you still have to go and collect signatures. And with this goonism, where will you collect those signatures? And even if he is recalled, that member of parliament is still allowed to run in that
until they've exhausted
Yes.
all avenues of appeal, right?
Now, it's like saying this person has murdered someone. And you now tell the prosecution that, okay, we agree. We agree, you've proven your case. And now the court tells the prosecution, like, now go and collect signatures so that we can see if people agree, this guy should go to jail. No, we should, as a mature democracy right now, reduce that thing or limit that thing to the High Court, that if you are found guilty of any offense as a member of parliament, the moment you are declared guilty, you lose that seat. So that it is not, I can't vote you and then go collect 1 million signatures or a certain percentage of signatures to get you out of office. And lastly, what are we saying about the major gain of this constitution, which is devolution? As a people, what are we saying?
What I'm hearing you say,
we need a basic development standard, that it doesn't matter the county you are in, but issues to do with roads, electricity, water, hospitals, and education are working. I have been going all over Kenya, and trust you me, I'll shock you. You know me, I've never been to Central Kenya. I just went to Central Kenya the other day. Me, I grew up in all the other places of Kenya except Central Kenya. So I'd never been to those counties that my people come from. So we decided to drive there, and I went to Nyeri. And trust you me, Kenya is not one country.
What makes you say this?
Other parts are well developed, better developed, advanced more than others.
What did you see in Nyeri that makes you say that?
Roads. I mean, even the most rural roads, there are no potholes there. You go there and you smell success. You go there and you smell this disparity, because now I imagine the place I come from, the places have grown, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, so these people, no wonder they keep saying Usiguze Murima, because these people are keeping this thing. The rest of you Kenyans should not know, right?
Yeah.
This constitution ensured that every county in Kenya can attain such things.
Yes.
You saw, we used to complain that, you know, because you're not supporting the president, development will not come to your area, and it was right, because the president was the king.
Yeah.
He would direct exactly where the funds will go. But right now, I can't seem to know why all counties are not having roads. Why is it that not all counties are connected with electricity, right? So what are we saying? So that when these people come, we want to hear what is the president saying about ABCD. And him, we cannot listen to him so much, because that is exactly what you are in office to do. So you can't promise us when it's time to execute.
Yeah.
Or to come and say, for example, like we've seen that I have done this. Well, that's what you are supposed to do.
That's what you're supposed to do. That's, you are here, right?
Yeah.
Should I clap for you for reporting to work?
No.
This is what you're supposed to do.
Yes.
Should we clap for the guard guy down there because he showed up? Like, I cannot clap for you for doing your work.
Yeah.
The role of a football striker is to score.
Yeah.
So if you don't score, that's when I have a problem, right?
Yeah.
But if you score, I'm not even excited, because that's exactly what you're supposed to do.
And if you don't score for a prolonged period,
you
then
are
perhaps
benched.
we need to
You
have
are
a-
benched. That's why we have substitutes.
Yeah.
You're even sold. You're even given out on loan, right?
Yeah.
Now, I never want to listen to them so much, because you cannot campaign to me every day.
Yeah.
It's time to execute, right? You are in your, the Vision 2030 was well broken into midterms.
Yeah.
So the Vision 2030, you are in that midterm of the Vision 2030. And in fact, it's the one completing the last mile, right? Now, can we hear what the United Opposition are saying? And not even just as one outfit. I want to hear exactly what is Rigathi saying about Katiba, Masomo, Afya, Uchaguzi, and Ugatuzi. I want to hear him. What is Matiang'i saying? What is Kalonzo saying? What is Matakarua saying? What is Sifuna saying? What is Babu Owino saying? What is Ruben Kigame saying about these five
Jimmy
things?
Wanjigi?
What is Jimmy Wanjigi saying, right? Because before we talk about anything, We have to ensure those 5 things are intact. So that we now form an informed social contract between us and you. That if you came to us today and you said, upon election, I will ensure all mad structures in the education system are demolished,
out,
and we have very good structures that are the same nationally, right? Now, when you get into office and you don't do that, and you see me on the streets, we both agree that, it's your failure, not mine, right? I'm here because you have breached our social contract. But until then, we can't say we have any hope.
Ganga, I hear you speak in terms of Kenya having a clean slate post 2010, where it was an opportunity for us to start afresh and fix this country and take it to where it is we want. You've talked about education, and the other day I was watching Mr. Beast, right? Yeah. He was in Kenya, constructed schools. Yes. And one would ask the question, if an influencer from the United States sees a problem in your own country, flies in, puts up a school, puts up a borehole, what is your MCA doing? What is your member of parliament doing? Where is your governor? Where is your president? And as we have this discussion, then there is what we want, and that will come from a citizenry who, first of all, read the constitution to understand it and not to be told by politicians, tumewasomea katiba and this is what it says. That as a people, we must chart our way forward. How do we have this discussion with everybody, right? As a country, not as Gen Zs. As a country, we have this discussion so that when it comes to us having a social contract, we know what the Katiba says, the 5 things are there, and that we decide what you will tell us and how we will move forward in the future.
I once told you here that the role of our generation is to identify as many problems as possible, provide as many solutions as possible. Not ask for, provide. Because we are designing our future, and take as much constitutional action as possible, right? So having gone all over Kenya, I realized the problem we have is not that we have a bad constitution. We have constitutional illiteracy. That people don't even know what this document says, and those who know can't even interpret it.
Right.
That is why part of the action I took, I partnered with 30 youths from 30 counties, and we decided we shall break down each and every article of this constitution for people to understand.
Yes.
As part of of us giving solutions, so that if we tell you read Article 255. You don't just read it like Naishia Apo. No, you read it and we have explained to you,
so you understand
exactly in a very simple manner, what does that article mean? What are your guaranteed rights? What is the impact of these rights? And then we have even given you a real world example.
Yeah.
You see? So that's part of our solution. But that is not sustainable. Because again, we cannot teach 54 million people. We establish structures to enable people to do what? Know the constitution. One of the things that happened in 2010, and I keep repeating, the constitution was supposed to go to school as a subject.
Yes.
But the other guys were like, we just got the cake. You want the people to know. We told the people, no, this constitution, this is ugali. But as we know, it's a cake, right? You want them to know it's a cake right now. And you can see they have suffered more than us, right?
Yeah.
Because in gatekeeping that information, they are leading fools. And when you lead fools, you need to spend so much.
Yeah.
You see? So everywhere they go, they get that direct tax. You meet people and they're like, tuachie kitu. So your life is even more difficult, right? You were saying about like Mr. Beast, right?
Yeah.
I want people to understand something that is going on right now, and you should take this thing so serious. There is this the global power is shifting to from oil to water. People don't even know that, you know.
Yeah.
So if you look at many programs right now, it's about 3 things. It's about what we call law, land, air, and water. If you don't use you as well, those people are coming
for it,
right? So when you see people like Mr. Beast, they're here to do tests.
Thank you.
You see? Yeah. So we have to, but if as a people we don't even know what the law says and how to go about things, we seem to celebrate them, right? But remember, that's how the missionaries came. They came with goodies, Oh my God, who has that much money to give you for free? That man just felt philanthropic, and my philanthropy will be practiced in Kenya. who they say if it's free, you are the prize.
Yes.
Right? Yes, if it's free, you are the prize. So yeah.
Taking it and then translating it into action, do we see that there's a competition of circumstance here? That when we to an extent, like you said, now people consuming the information that comes out of the Constitution and understand that this is actually for me. Do you see that beyond that there's a coming together of people? Or how would that play out? Where people say, okay, for sure, we know that I shouldn't stand in a rally and applaud you for constructing a road. That's what you're supposed to do. I shouldn't be taking take the handouts and do whatever you need to do with them, but then move to a place where you can come together and say, you know what, actually, this shouldn't be the case. That it should go beyond the Public Accounts Committee of the Senate, for example, when somebody is spending millions that should actually be going towards taking care of those schools that you spoke about, or that, public money is doing things that it's not supposed to be doing. Do we see that there's that mushrooming of activity for people coming together, or how would that actually work?
I'm telling you this. Forget even about the elections that are coming. Forget about all those things. I just want you to observe one thing so that you understand that people are coming together. Look at what that Linda Mwananchi thing is doing. It is a show of people coming together. I told you there were two forces fighting. Now it's three. And more likely, this good voice is going to be fought by those two other forces, right? Because if I am in government and I know this is the united opposition that is going against me, right? At least I know my enemy. They say once you know your enemy, you have the trouble.
Yeah.
So the government is like, I know Rigiji, I know Matiangi, I know Eugene, I know this guy.
But this guy, I don't know.
I don't know this guy.
Yeah.
But again, this guy is also a problem to the opposition. Because you're stealing the limelight from
them.
Us. So that's the only danger we are running. But with the coming together for change, it's already happening, yeah? So we have to, that's why I was telling you, we need to know where our win is. Our win is 175 MPs. The moment we get 175 MPs, in fact, if I was Sifuna today, I'd not even struggle so much. I just use that influence to go to every constituency and earmark and tell them we need an MP here.
And this is the
so once you have the 175, it is clear that these are the pro-people MPs. So no bad bill will ever pass in that parliament, even if that guy never becomes president, right? Because I want you to to look at one thing. In that, this is called the NADCO and the 10-point agenda. The 10-point agenda, one of the agenda says, implement the
NADCO report.
What was the NADCO report saying?
It's actually the first one.
Yes, what was the NADCO report saying?
A couple of things, but one of
that
them was
we shall have at the office of the opposition.
Right.
What does that mean? It means we shouldn't even go for an election then, because it is guaranteed that the runners-up will, the first runners-up will. But now we used to believe this is the united opposition and they are the popular, right? So assuming we had concluded an election, then Sifuna erupts. So what happens in that situation where the official opposition leader of opposition
is William Ruto?
Not even that. Just assume the official opposition leader has been installed already. So we know this is the official. But then there comes another person who has more influence and more control on the people more than this official guy. So what happens? Does this guy vacate office?
Or what happens to him?
Yes, what happens to them, right? The other one was to entrench the NGCDF and the NGAF and also to establish the senators. The Senate Fund.
Oversight fund,
What does that mean? Guys, we are just lying to you. Give us more resources. We need, it's a holiday here.
We need to lounge.
We need a soft life here. So you guys work hard, bring the money, we shall expand and we are just going to sell an illusion.
And all of us will still remain in this party.
What was the other thing in that NADCO report? That reduced taxes and reduced taxes due to the cost of living. Well, then why did we vote? Do we need an agreement?
Write it down.
But then, who are the signatories? Kimani Ishungu and Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka, right? Now, tell me, how will Kalonzo Musyoka push for that thing to be enacted? He's not a member of parliament. He's not a governor. He's a nobody. Just a citizen like me. So how is he going to effect those changes? Isn't that the meaning of facade now?
Yeah. A big one.
Yeah, a big one, right?
For you to look into.
Yeah.
I guess that final statement is the answer to the question about what this thing really is on the face of it.
Yeah.
And as we get closer to the day where folks are going to be able to say whether it did or something or not, the truths are becoming wildly apparent to everyone. Know your constitution. Know what it says.
You have to.
Essentially.
Yes.
And that's what we live by.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see where this wave carries folks, but then that folks are woke is not a farce.
Informed people are dangerous.
Yeah.
Informed people are dangerous and powerful.
Yeah.
And I think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Nganga Muigai, thank you for being here with us this morning and having this conversation. We'll look forward to the next. It's necessary that we keep it front and center. Santisana, 2 minutes past 9.
Cool.
The latest news from around. This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
This week